So if you say, hey Alex, from healthhacksreviewed.com, what's the most popular brand of hyperbaric chamber? And by the way, the proper term for soft cell chambers that you're interested in is mild hyperbaric therapy, mild hyperbaric soft cell chamber. Anyways, what's the most popular brand? What's the biggest seller? Easy. It's an easy answer. It's Oxyhealth. Okay, and I'm not saying that just because, you know, I really like Oxyhealth and I'm biased and all that type of information. That's not the case at all. If you actually just do a little bit of homework, you'll see that Oxyhealth has the most chambers out there in the field, in medical settings, rehabilitation clinics, you name it, or just being used at home, okay? Infinitely more by comparison by the other two brands, okay? So they have a lot of chambers out there, and they've had them out there for many, many, many years. So the reason I generally recommend Oxyhealth as a brand to choose over the other two, with the exception sometimes, and that's why in general I like to consult with individuals to help them figure this out. But in general, that one gets recommended a little bit more as a top choice because we just have so much more product history on it. We really know how it performs in heavily used hyperbaric clinics, commercial settings even. There's just more chambers out there. And that's an important thing to know because when you're going to spend this much money, right, or even if you go into financing, still it's a lot of money, you really want to know that what you're getting is going to hold up over time after a lot of use, right? But the other reason you really want to make sure that something holds up well and has a lot of value over time is a fair number of users of hyperbaric therapy actually resell their chambers. So a lot of times what happens is individuals are usually very sick, they've tried a variety of different therapies, they'll actually buy their chamber and they'll keep it and they'll use it just for the period of time it takes them to get better. 3 months, 2 years, whatever it is, okay, sometimes longer. And then at that point, you can get the chamber recertified under warranty. But if you want a higher resale value and get as much money back as possible, you simply want a chamber that has the best quality, durability, longevity, and high resale value. Okay? And that's a very simple answer. As I've said, that's Oxyhealth. And again, it's just because it's been around longer. It's probably one of the main reasons. I'd say the next nearest competitor is Newtown, and I'll talk about that in my next video. So you'll see in Oxyhealth they have a variety of different sizes. I'd say for a single user, as long as you're not claustrophobic and you're not planning to do any work in there, you're also just an average-sized individual, you're not too tall, that type of thing. Getting the smallest chamber is fine. Usually price range around $7,500 for something like that. And then, of course, you can upgrade in size. I'd say a more popular chamber is the size just above that, medium size. The reason for that is because a lot of people like to do work in their chamber. So they like to multitask and do other things while they're in there. And it's just a little bit more comfortable. You have a little bit more room to maybe bring in a laptop or something like that, or read a book. It's just a little bit more comfortable. Not too much of a difference in price, has a high resale value, and then you gotta look at it this way. If you're gonna be doing financing anyways, usually when you break it down to look at those monthly payments, the difference between a small and a large is not really a whole lot when you're actually looking monthly, month to month. So with this chamber, you'll see that there's not actually any straps on the outside. Part of the reason is because it has just a very more robust material, sturdier construction and very sturdy zippers. There's actually no need for the straps. And I would also point something out that a lot of people don't know, is that with one of the models of chamber, you can actually go to a higher atmospheric pressure than is legally allowed in the United States, okay? But is allowed in Europe. So they do make one particular model that is popular in Europe because you can go to the higher ATA level. Now, so you're asking yourself, well, you know, what if I want to do the higher atmospheric pressure and I live in the United States? So legally, some of these clinics, or my connections, what you do is you actually buy the kit separately and on your own, then essentially you're free to, you know, if you want to boost it up to a higher ATA rating, you can. It's at least a full atmospheric pressure higher than the legally allowed limit. And so legally, then basically the companies are safe. They can sell you these components separately on your own. It's up to you, your responsibility, what you want to do. That's pretty neat. So then you have to ask yourself, well, why do I want a chamber that's higher atmospheric pressure? Like Newtown now has a standard higher atmospheric pressure than most of the other brands. And one reason is it's not like you're going to get better results. It's kind of a very blank statement like that, or generalized statement. That's not really the case. The reason why you want a higher atmospheric pressure mainly will come down to your efficiency. Okay, so it's able to dissolve at a greater rate the amount of oxygen into your body, your cells. And that's simply it. It's just more efficient. So if you get something that's a little bit higher, what's realistically, how much time can you save yourself? Anywhere from like 30 to 45 minutes, I'd say, on average. Just depends on how long you're doing the chamber session for. And so that can be actually a significant amount of time if you're doing sessions every single day, which most people do who buy them. And again, if you're also multitasking in there and you're doing a little bit of work, you can actually, that's probably one of the best systems. You're being productive while you're in there. You're shaving off 30 to 45 minutes. That really doesn't become much of a hassle. And this is, again, brings us to why some people want to own a chamber. So if you have more questions about Oxyhealth and you need somebody to actually consult with you one-on-one, then about your specific medical condition or your goals, then probably my associate would be able to assist you with that, who has the medical backing, who works at the actual clinics and legally can talk to you about that. Just a quick note, before you kind of get to that later on point, you really start to seriously evaluate these things, just keep in mind you need a prescription. Okay, so you do need a prescription for a concentrator. You need a prescription. It's just one prescription. It covers the concentrator, covers the chamber, but it is something that's actually very easy to obtain. And also, if you are having challenges with getting one of those in your area for whatever reason, a couple of these different clinics I have a relationship with do have a doctor on staff. You can do an appointment consultation over the phone and basically take care of that piece of it. If you have any other questions, be happy to help. Give me a call, send me a message on my site. Thanks.